So that is one of the package, and we also have those ones that we call for mobile hairdressing salon, whereby it was inspired by one of our entrepreneurs as well, that is saying that, okay, I have my clients all around, I don't have money to rent a shop, but I go to their houses to make their hair for them. So we felt, okay, can we also make it interesting and sexy by actually helping this woman to build an electric vehicle that she can put all her dryer, everything, the soap, the water that she needs. So she just goes there and she opens up her electric vehicle and she's at a go. These are the kind of solutions that we have. And we also have those ones that can sit up to 6 passengers that we call the normal keke, that average Joe there can also have this. Because it's electric, it looks as if it's expensive. Not even that expensive anyway, but poor people don't have to pay for this. So there are mechanisms that we put in place, there are partnerships that we set up to actually help them to afford it, and they can rent it. They make money and they pay back to where they've actually gotten it.
Apart from cost, the problem the team also faces is technology adaptation. Government policies, infrastructural decay and enabling environment are all part of the obstacles the green industry is facing in Nigeria. But the team says it is undeterred.
In terms of how it works, if you look at solar, which powers this bike, for instance, about 8-9 kilowatt power that you need to charge this would normally cost around 3-4 million naira. That is just the charging station alone. But this charging station will not have to charge only one bike a day. You can charge multiple bikes, right? And it would be wrong for you to ask a poor person or an ordinary Joe on the street to pay for that. So can we find out a financial mechanism that can actually help us build an ecosystem whereby we democratize this? So I drive into my charging port, I charge what I have to charge, and I pay just 200, 500 naira a day. And I walk away, go about my business. And another person walk in. And to the investors as well that have invested 4 million into that, within 3-6 months, they've recouped back their investment. We are talking about energy democratization. We are talking about transportation for the future. So we should begin to look at how we can use innovation, technology, creativity to turn this around and make it work for those people that are still left behind. The future under the Sustainable Development Goal is the future that must be inclusive. Everybody must be part of it.
Falling costs of electric vehicles and solar panels could halt worldwide growth in demand for oil and coal by 2020, a new report has suggested. A scenario that takes into account the latest cost reduction projections for the green technologies and countries' pledges to cut emissions finds that solar power and electric vehicles are game changers that could leave fossil fuels stranded. Polluting fuels could lose 10% of market share to solar power and clean cars within a decade. Currently, the transport sector is almost completely dependent on fossil fuels. It contributes approximately 1/4 of all energy-related carbon dioxide emissions to the atmosphere, which is set to go to 1/3, growing faster than any other sector. By 2035, electric vehicles could make up 35% of the road transport market and 2/3 by 2050, when it could displace 25 million barrels of oil per day. Under such a scenario, coal and oil demand could peak in 2020, while the growth in gas demand could be curtailed. It could also limit global temperature rises to between 2.4 degrees centigrade and 2.7 degrees centigrade, above pre-industrial levels, while more ambitious actions by countries than currently pledged, along with falling cost of solar and electric vehicles could limit warming to 2.1 degrees Celsius and 2.3 degrees Celsius. This would drastically reduce the revenue from crude, and Nigeria would be dealt a major blow if the economy was not diversified.
The other one is what you...
To scale production of the electric vehicles, the SME Funds team are training people in green technologies.
The government that is still thinking 30 years backwards, when we need to begin to look at how we want to get position and take advantage of this era, whereby we have huge populations in Nigeria that are youth. They are creative Nigerians, they are smart. We understand how to go about it. All that we need is the environment, is the honest desire. It's the government policy. It's just the little push that is needed for Nigeria to begin to achieve and stay at the front burner of all of this innovation and the changes that we want to see. So what we've decided to do is to assemble young Nigerians, because we travel around and we see these technologies. They are not rocket science. All that we need is just to encourage young people and show them the way.
Urbanization and rising incomes have been driving rapid motorization in the cities. If no action is taken, these cars threaten literally to choke tomorrow's cities, bringing with them a host of negative consequences that would seriously undermine the overall benefits of urbanization. Many believe green vehicles in Nigeria are going to give a very significant lift to the economy, because across the world, mass transit buses are now running fully green in favor of those cities. They say this is possible here, just as the situation is in South Africa, where private investors are already focusing on green vehicles. Experts argue that government policies and legislation would be required to promote and encourage organizations that are looking at green development in the country.